Our next speaker works in spaces where clarity is hard earned and stakes are high. As a dispute resolution lawyer and managing partner at municipal stages, he has spent years navigating conflict, negotiation, and difficult conversations. Moments where what if carries real consequences. So please, all of us, and please welcome Mr. Susshil Daga.
आदतन आदतें हैं, आदत हो जाएगी, मैं कुछ ऐसा करूंगा कि कहानी हो जाएगी. When you listen to these lines, you feel what a powerful line. But in hindsight, whenever I heard such lines, I always thought that these are the lines which will be talked about me. I would be someone who would be a perfect example if these lines are ever talked about. What stops you from listening to it, imagining it, and becoming part of it is one simple thing, and that disease is called what if. Today we sit down and think, what if? How many of you, I don't know, are imagining that couple of days, years down the line you would be here trying to motivate people? Age has no answers. Age is no barrier to say that at certain age certain success would come. If you have it within you, Sachin Tendulkar at 16 played and showed us what success means. There's one thing that you have to display, and that is courage. You have to wear it on your sleeves, because when you are on difficult crossroads of deciding what decision you have to take, whether to take or sit down and take an easier route, what if would be important. It is important to know that even if I fail, it is fine. But even if I do not try, whether that will be fine. 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, whatever you live down the line, you'll always think, I should have taken that route. To avoid the guilt, I think taking the risk, being courageous is the fundamental trait everyone should work on. I'll give you through my example. I was born, brought up in Ranchi. And in 2003, just after a few years, Ranchi became capital. There were a lot of growth in the state, but the disruption in and around the Vidhan Sabha, the Legislative Assembly, grew. My father's business was in and around that place. So if you have an issue, lock down the Legislative Assembly and the work gets strangled for permanently for a couple of days. Now life gave me my first what if. Should I sit back, wait for the external factors now to calm down and probably life to become easy? Or the second route, go back to my grandparents who are there in Jaipur and try my luck in law, because my uncle was a lawyer. I said nothing to you. 13th May 2003, I went to Jaipur. That became the first if moment where I took a difficult path, never lived away from parents. It is a difficult thing, but then that is what champions will be made of, taking difficult decisions. Second what if came when I cleared one of the exams for the entrance in 5 years integrated law course. When I saw the fees that has to be paid thereafter, the second what if came. Money was tight. Now two what ifs. Spend all what my parents have saved till date, or take the second difficult path, join a local college, 7 to 11 college, 10 to 5 course, 6 to 10 again to office, 10 to 12 again do your smart study. Because my uncle was a lawyer, I got an opportunity of doing all of this alongside my studies. So people in 5 years law would have learned law, but I took it in a library-like situation, going to the court daily, understanding how law plays. Yes, I missed on a lot of friendship days, a lot of Valentine days, a lot of other days, because I was 10 to 5 court, 6 to 10 office from a very early age. But that taught me one thing, and that's the most important prerequisite of becoming successful, and that is discipline. Intelligence, if at all lesser, will still succeed if it is disciplined. So being disciplined is what those days taught me. Sometimes you don't feel the pain. Since I was living it on a regular basis, people who saw that I am doing this schedule always came back and said, it's a very tough thing that you are trying to do. For me, it became natural because it became a natural habit, because going to the court, observing things, cross-examinations always happen in trial court. Longer arguments will always happen in trial courts. I had opportunity of spending 6 years of, that is 3 years of graduation, 3 years of law in trial courts, making me a lawyer who observed law from close quarters. 2010, come 2010, I thought now is the time things would fall in place. But then those lines, तू शाहीन है परवाज है काम तेरा, तेरे आगे सितारे और भी हैं, पहाड़ों के आगे कहानियां और भी हैं और तेरे इम्तिहान अभी और भी हैं. 2010, again a lucky number, 13 for me. People say isn't lucky. 13 proved out lucky to me. I was diagnosed with a disease. I went there, diagnosed. The reports came as T1 grade of cancer. Again went to certain laboratories, got checked. They said, yes, this would have turned out to something which we could not have been treatable. As of now, it is not malign, means I was safe. But those 8 days told me that I have very less time in my life. Thoughts of being in trial court, understanding maybe if I have an accident, they would probably recover a lot of money more than me dying in cancer, my parents, all of that struck. But after 8 days, when I knew that things are fine, I thought I am going to jump. I am going to do something what it is called in chess. If in chess anyone even today gives me an option to choose your character, I would always choose horse. चलूंगा नहीं, चलूंगा तो ढाई. So I started jumping. I started going ahead and deciding that now is the time I take risks. I joined a top-notch law firm, understood how things are done. So there is where I encountered people coming from privileged backgrounds, senior advocates' sons. There would be people in high courts. Apart from trial court, when you go to high court, you find a lot of legacy-related people in the corridor. Let me tell you, sometimes even a hello in a corridor, when you do not get it because you don't come from those colleges, don't come from those backgrounds, it cuts you deep. So I thought now next thing is to build a community. Meanwhile, I was doing all of this till 2010. I joined a parallel course called company secretary. I was cleared company secretary by 2011. So I thought, how do I make a community of my own? Susshil Daga has to be a brand. How do I do it? How do I earn people? Then came an idea, which Modi ji, our Prime Minister, sometimes these days say, we need to, I take it very popularly, he says, Aapada mein avsar. So company secretaryship is a course I did, but I did not profess it. How do I use this profession to my benefit? I contested elections. I said that's the best way to let people know that Susshil Daga, corporate lawyer, exists and he is this following credentials. Please let me know if you need him anytime. 7 people were to be elected. 3 came from one group, 3 came from another. I came from one. That decided the another set of story is I would decide what would happen in next 4 years. Who would be the treasurer, secretary, chairman, vice chairman. 2017, I became the chairman. Took initiatives at that level that when headquarters, the Prime Minister came and addressed, I got an opportunity to lead in 2017 in Jaipur. So life has its own set of plans. If I take you back, could not go to law school, so did a mediocre course, probably in terms of money, company secretaryship. But now the field, please see, you're going to North Block, South Block, dealing with relevant people, all because you are a company secretary. So nothing happens in our life without a reason. You need to, but you will only be able to connect those dots when you look backward. Today, when it is happening, we might feel that it is not for the right set of purpose. But the moment you go ahead, you look at those decisions, you'll find that it has come with some seeds. So next 4 years, I contested another election. Meanwhile, my advocacy was going on. I contested one more election. I contested this time for the entire North region, 12 most populous states in India. I contested those. Now people from Rajasthan, a small geography, who knew me, my width of people knowing me now extended to 12 different states. I won elections in 2022. I was about to be elected as a chairman, internally got elected as a chairman. But again, my life is full of surprises. One candidate challenged it in Delhi High Court. The court primarily, when was hearing the matter, look at the thoughts that were running in my mind. I am a lawyer doing law for 10 odd years that time, got elected as a chairman. At least I should preserve my case that no stay is granted on my chairmanship. On a very first day of hearing, stay is granted. I thought nothing bad could have happened to me. But then, when the final order came, the chairmanship was upheld. Only then I realized that the God had created me that I would be the only person in Institute of Company Secretary whose chairmanship is being confirmed by a constitutional court. I become history, the matter gets reportable. Never judge any situation in life why it is happening with you. It is happening for a larger good. It is happening for a reason. All said and done, I should have won elections. Next time I lost. And that's where I thought, why me again? I did such wonderful work. And that's where I thought that I had to take amicus legal to a next level. And all of a sudden, matters, international arbitrations, appearances in Supreme Court, High Courts increased. My team size increased from 7 to 40, what is today. And then there again I thought, if I would have won that elections, I would have probably not reached here. नियति इति नायकः, जो आगे लेके जाए वो नेता है. नेतृत्व करना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है लाइफ में. Doing that company secretaryship leadership allowed me to understand how to handle, since I was handling more than 400 employees, I knew how to handle now team size of 40 and how to escalate it from 40 to 400, which you'll see in coming years. Important is conviction. If you do not have conviction that God has sent you to do bigger things in life, we are not going to get there. It is very, very important to understand that once we are here as human beings, we are not the photocopy machines. I don't want to be any one of you. You should not want to be any one of you like me. Be your own self. If you have to take an example, don't be the photocopy machine, be the printer. The next print should always be new, different, and it should be not what God has not sent you to become someone else. Had He wanted that, He would have sent you, He would have sent the twins or a different version of Himself. He sent you for a purpose. Now, how do you get that purpose? In Sanskrit, it is called द्विज. पहला जन्म, जब आप अपनी माँ से एक कॉर्ड कटने के बाद आपको पता चलता है मेरी अलग जिंदगी है, मेरी अलग धड़कन है, मैं एक अलग इकाई हूं, मुझे भूख लगती है. उससे पहले माँ खाती थी, आपका पेट भर जाता. दूसरा जन्म, द्विज. What is द्विज? द्विज is when you realize why are you born. What is your purpose? Your purpose isn't to come to college, study, go back home, and thereafter find jobs for yourself. No, that's not your purpose. Your purpose is something different. And to understand that purpose, you have to get rid of a disease. What if I should join a safer college right now, earn a certain set of money, and then I'll do a startup? Please remember, it is very important that we see things beyond our age. I'll tell you a couplet. It says, Balastava Krida Sakta, Tarunistava Taruni Sakta, Vriddhastava Chinta Magna, Parme Dharmani Gopi Na Sakta, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam, Bhaj Murmade. What does it mean? Balastava Krida Sakta. जो बालक होते हैं वो बचपन के बारे में सोचते हैं. तरुणीस्तावा तरुणी सकता. जो तरुण होते हैं वो आपस में मेल मिलाप में जिंदगी निकाल देते हैं. वृद्धास्तावा चिंता मग्न. वृद्ध लोग अपने घर में भी हैं तो वो ये चिंता करते हैं कि ये घर आया है, गेट बंद करेगा नहीं करेगा, चिंता में है. पर में धर्मनी गोपी न सकता. धर्म आगे जीवन का क्या मतलब है इसके बारे में हम सोचने में सबसे कम समय खर्च करते। इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू थिंक व्हाट इज द पर्पस। समवन हु बीइंग child starts thinking like adult, being an adult starts thinking like an old man, and being an old man starts thinking what is more important for the world, will only be someone who will crack things. So my suggestion to you is look at Prime Minister's life. I'm not going into any other thing. Being a child, he was happy selling tea. Being at the time he should have done a business, he went to Himalayas. At the time he should be at Himalayas, he is probably governing the country. Always live life or make friends with at least 5 to 7 years elder to you. They will tell you that what mistakes they are doing in life and that you should not repeat. It's a very important aspect to understand that I would not commit mistakes what they are actually doing. Make friends there. With this, I'll leave. I hope all of you shrugs off what we call what if. Thank you so much.